there are all kinds of things that we keep putting off for the future, whether it's going on a vacation or learning some new skill. We're always thinking, nah, this just isn't the right time. I'll do that later. I know I always do stuff like that. And so, today I've decided enough is enough. It's time just to start living in the present and get those things that you've been delaying to do, get those done. And so 2 things that I have been sort of procrastinating on or leaving for the future are talking about Vat Do, about totems in ancient Vietnam, and this book, and eating hot dogs. So today I'm going to get both of those tasks done and live in the present. Okay, time to make some hot dogs. So, let's see here. One thing that I always do is I always put things off until later. I love hot dogs, but I rarely eat them because I always thinking they're not good for you or something like that. But the truth is that hot dogs taste great and we should just eat them and not worry about that stuff. So today I went and got some mighty good dogs with pasture-raised beef and some natural uncured beef hot dogs. So still trying to be a little healthy here, but we're just going to fire up the stove here and eat some hot dogs. Kids are starving because it took me so long to set up all the camera stuff. What's this thing? How do you do this? Broil. High. With high we're going to burn stuff. Low. No, low. And these are not going to be any hot dogs. These are going to be avocado hot dogs. Oh.
Wait, what? Wait, why are you recording this again?
Why am I recording this again? Because it's related to stuff I'm going to be talking about. Hot dogs are related to a lot of important things in life. So, yeah. Like not putting stuff off until the future. You just got to eat your hot dogs now.
You like hot dogs?
I love hot dogs. You don't like hot dogs? Okay, now, this is going to be the yummy part. Whoops, this guy's blocking my way.
That in there?
Yeah, not going to be good?
I'm not a big fan of that. So I'll
So you can have ketchup.
Yeah, I'll take
Salsa. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. I'm going to try.
Yeah, please don't put sauce on there.
Okay, jeez.
Thank you.
Whoops.
Just, I've never really liked salsa.
You don't like salsa? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And you're studying Spanish?
All of those times that you made us that rice with salsa.
I didn't eat the salsa.
Oh my god, you're kidding me.
Yeah, she kept wasting all of it.
Wow, now I hear, now I learn.
On the sausage, bruh. Your bread is lopsided.
So there was this debate in North Vietnam in the late 1950s about totems, or Vat Do as they're referred to in Vietnamese. There was this guy Dao Ziyan who wrote an article, and then some people argued back against his ideas. He was essentially trying to talk about what he thought was the ancient totemic symbol of Vietnam, this kind of bird that you see on the Dong Son bronze drums that have been found in central and northern Vietnam. So what interests me about this is not whether or not, or is not the details of the debate, but really just the fact that they were debating this. And what I find really interesting in this debate is the clear evidence of the knowledge that people like Dao Ziyan had of scholarship on totems and totemic symbols that French, in the world of French scholarship. Okay. So I'm going to try the salsa. Man, it is hot in here. What's going on?
It is hot today. Yeah, I want to swim.
This does not look like a good idea. I think I'm going to regret that. Salsa's not going to be cool. Not cool. Not cool. Bad idea. Hot dog's got to be ketchup. Wait, do we have any mustard?
Ew, no.
What? Ew, that's good stuff.
We have Dijon mustard.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So this whole topic of totems is something that Western scholars started to develop in the 19th century. Some people noticed that there were Native American peoples who had these totemic symbols, and from that discovery, there then developed this big body of literature that tried to theorize a certain stage in human development when people worshipped these totemic symbols. Usually a symbol in the form of an animal that was a kind of protective animal of a clan or a group of people, and then associated with that belief in that protective animal, developed these other ideas about the community, such as who they could marry or who they couldn't marry, and who they could or could not have sex with. And in particular, there was this idea of a taboo against incest that was important for this theory about totemic societies.
Should we just microwave our thing?
Oh! No, that's gonna do weird stuff, I think.
Really? I feel like it'll be good.
To the bread, it'll probably make that like all smushy.
Oh, you said you were making Pop-Tarts. Can I do it for like 10 seconds or like 5 seconds?
You can try it. There's the stuff. This is what we want, right? Yeah. Well, as the 20th century progressed, more and more people critiqued this idea, and so by now what people realize is that a lot of these ideas that anthropologists and sociologists developed about totems and totemic societies said a lot more about the ideas of the social scientists than it did about actual human societies. And while yes, there are some groups of people in the world who do have totemic symbols, it's not a general stage that all human societies pass through. And there are many societies around the world where people have earlier said were totemic societies, which scholars now say they are not. And so it's a theory that has fallen out of favor. But in the 1950s, that hadn't happened yet. And so it's really interesting to look at this debate that took place then to see how scholars at that time in North Vietnam were engaged with these ideas in the larger international or Western world. But these days, we now know that this theory is a flawed theory. And that is a topic that this gentleman here, Đinh Hồng Hải, brought up in a book that he published a few years ago. I gave a talk in Vietnam a couple years ago, and this gentleman, Đinh Hồng Hải, came up and introduced himself. He gave me a copy of his book. I've been meaning to write about it on the blog, but this is one of those things that I've kept delaying and saying that I would do it, and I haven't done it, and I'm still probably not going to get around to actually writing something. So today I said, heck, if I'm not going to write about it, I should at least talk about it. And so what I really liked about this book is that Đinh Hồng Hải has a chapter in it where he talks about this issue of the totem. And basically what he points out is that the theory behind this idea is one that has basically been undermined or deconstructed. And what makes it a bigger problem for Vietnam is that there's just so little evidence of anything. So you've got pictures of birds on bronze drums, but beyond that, you've really got nothing to go on. And so what ends up happening is that people today who continue to write about this, in many ways, they're a lot like the Western social scientist who wrote about totems 100 years ago, in that what they're writing about says a lot more about their own selves and their own beliefs and their own desires than it does about any human societies that ever existed in the past.
Come on, man.
Just do it for 30 seconds, bro.
It doesn't work. How do you get
I
this
got
on?
this. Yo. I'm supposed to use this part to lift.
So this is a fascinating topic. I'm really happy that Đinh Hồng Hải wrote about this and that he pointed out that the theory behind this is flawed and that the evidence for this in the case of Vietnam or ancient Vietnam is just insufficient for us to actually say anything really persuasive about this at all. And so finally, after procrastinating for years, I've been able to say something about this. I'm happy I did that. And finally, after probably months, maybe years, I don't know, when is the last time that I ate a hot dog? This part's not going to make sense to you, but... So the moral of the story is, don't talk about totems, eat hot dogs, don't delay until the future. We only live life once. Start eating your hot dogs now. Good hot dogs, yeah? Oh, let's see. Wait, everything's falling apart here.
Are you showing people this video? Oh no.